star shines down upon you. May it be when darkness falls, your heart will be true. You walk a lonely road. Oh, how far you are from home. Morning air, utuli believe and you will find your way. Morning air, our promise lives within. May it be the shadows call will fly away. May it be you journey on to light the day. When the night is overcome, you may rise to find the sun. Morning air, utuli believe and you will find your way.
Holds. I just had to send one last email out because my soul guided me to. So welcome if you're here live or on the replay. I am so excited about today's transmission, Holy Toledo. So much of it shifted in the last 36 hours because I was in bed for legit 36 hours straight. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to be offering you a 6-month program. It's actually not a program, it's a journey after this, if you feel the pull. There's going to be a promo and a special, so stay tuned for that if you sign up by midnight tonight. This, an early bird goes to my birthday, the end of January 4th. This is not just a course, what I'm going to offer you. And we're going to explain all of the things, and I'm going to give you my life experience. All of this you can do yourself. You can absolutely do all of this yourself. And from experience, this path is not easy. It is going against all the constructs, all the slave codes, all of the places you've given your sovereignty away, your truth away. And so it is so supportive to have a community to walk with you side by side. I don't want anybody here to look at me like, oh, this is possible for Jill and it's not possible for anybody. Like the path is possible for everybody, and your path is different than my path. Your path is what your soul is calling you to, and all the areas that you think are issues in your life. And I will share my real life experiences with this because, oh boy, I got a lot in preparation for this particular part of the Master Series. Are literally the portals. They are gifts. And like, it's so easy to like get angry at that thing or be a victim to that thing. I get it. Like I'm like sweating now. I go through this as well. I messaged my mentor the other day and I was like, this is going on and blah. And she was like, well, this looks like this is a gift. And I'm like, oh, right, duh. Okay, what are the key codes? Right? Like, what is this teaching me? And so the easy path in life is to stay stagnant. This is the death of the soul. This is why I always say when we're too comfortable, like it feels like to me, our soul is dying. I feel caged. I feel like, oh my goodness. And then I get overwhelmed with emotion instead of directing that energy and motion in a way that's in alignment with my soul. And that is the most fulfilling thing. And it has been, I'm going to cry. It has been so bonkers, like seeing this play out in my life of like, oh, that desire was literally, so I went and like healed this part of myself or allowed this part of myself that was not serving my sovereignty, my soul to literally die. That's why I had a desire for that thing. The desire is the North Star. So we're going to talk about this. So stay tuned. I'll talk about the offering. It's called Soul Led Life. Some of you know about it. Some of you are in it. And it is like, this is like my favorite offering I think I've ever done. It is so meaningful to me because it's not just about the exterior things. It's really about the path of the soul. And in that path is where we get the abundance, the wealth, the health, the amazing relationships. Like we have to go through these portals of initiations. There is no other way. And this is a very soul-led container versus soul-led life versus an ego-led one. I can teach you to manifest anything, guys. I've literally manifested so much. I've had clients manifest so much. And maybe I'll teach decoding manifestation again at some point. I don't know. Right now, God is like, nope, nope, halt, no. And it's like, because sometimes we can get our ego carried away instead of being on our soul path. And we're actually running from our soul path. And then we're faced with all the reflections in health and relationship and wealth that we're avoiding because our ego is like, I want this thing, it's going to make me happy. And then we realize I got the thing and it doesn't make me happy. But when you get those things, when you get the wealth, when you get the deepening of relationships, of friendships, soul-aligned like community, the whatever manifestations through the soul path, it is a very different feeling. It is a fulfilling feeling. It's like an, oh my God, like it was never about the thing. It was never about the thing, but I got the thing and that was just the cherry on top. And so in a world where we are so disconnected from our souls and they are literally screaming at us through our body, through pain, through disease, through addiction, through our finances, through our relationships, through people disrespecting us, our boundaries, all of these things. Like, are we listening? What is the lesson in this? Okay. And before we get into that, why should we listen to our soul? Why? For me, when I don't, I feel literally like I'm suffocated, like I'm dying, like I don't know how to explain it. And then I get all the reflections. For me, they're usually in my body. Sometimes they're in friendships. Well, they're in family and my body typically, and they usually go hand in hand. And I'm going to share some examples today. But this path is the most prosperous path. Pro spirit, prosperous as in not just like money, that included. We're going to go there. We're going to go there. Okay. Hold on this for a second. A lot of people have been asking me recently, and this weaves right into this and into the energy work that I'm going to bring into the portal of Soul Led Life, the 6-month journey. I'm literally going to set up grids with source, God, whichever word resonates more, the earth, your soul blueprint, and activate those so that you will be initiated on the path. It will become very clear and you'll have the support to walk the path because, again, it's not easy. It's usually the thing that scares you the most that you have to do. I did one of them the other day and my whole system recalibrated. And I was like, oh, that was the key. It took me 33 years to figure that out. But I've been reading the Bible recently, literally ran across. And people are like, I have been seeking truth. Like, what is the ultimate truth? And what I have come to realize is that shame keeps people trapped. So I believe in God, Jesus, God as in the divine masculine, Christ consciousness. By the way, Jesus he wasn't even Christian, which I just found out. I'm like, this all makes sense. And then the Sophia consciousness, which is the feminine Christ consciousness. We need to work in co-creation with the yin and the yang, the divine masculine, divine feminine. Okay, this is the basis of all of my teachings. It has been for years, and I didn't connect these dots until recently. What I came to realize is that there is so much shame that's keeping people entrapped in cycles of oppression. So I believe a lot of the word is true, like what Jesus actually said. And then there's infiltrated of distortion. And then we come to the spiritual community, which I've been gaslighted from so many times, where it's like all of this quantum stuff, which is beautiful. But then there's all this distortion and infiltration, and both of them keep you trapped if you're not in your center. And there are so many people grasping, God's going to save me. Like, yes, Jesus is a savior in co-creation. We got to work in co-creation with this energy. Okay. It's not just, oh, Jesus is going to heal my addiction, or the answers are with him, or I'm going to outsource this to somebody else. Like, it makes me so sad when I just see people outsourcing everything. So this 6-month journey that I'm going to offer you, end of this call or middle of this call, wherever it comes through, is literally so you can find the truth of your soul, the truth of your divine connection with God, source, Mother Earth, the masculine, feminine, yin and yang combined, whatever that means to you. I don't care what you call it. I just had a conversation with my mom. I'm like, Mom, I had this whole epiphany, and I know you don't believe in like God or Jesus, and like I literally got a cross for Christmas, not from them. But like this, I'm like, animals, like horses, you can't hide from them. They bring out everything. Dogs are a little bit different, but horses literally will bring out the truth. They're no bullshit. This is why I've been called to spend so much time with animals recently. And so what I realized with the animals is that when we work, and this is the same thing with these universal energies, when we work in co-creation, in devotion, in honor, mutual respect, not the energy is going to save me, not somebody's coming to save me, not, oh, I'm going to use this energy for my own ego benefit. You think there's no repercussions to that? Well, I'll let you experience that if you're going to go that route. But how can I work in co-creation with the earth, with natural law, very important for another masterclass, and the energy of God, both the masculine and feminine. And so this co-creation is the same thing with co-creation with animals. Like, there's like a free will. And my mom even said, like, no, there is some energy, but people are calling it different things. So my intention is to help you guys, whether it's just this masterclass and you're like, I don't feel the call to soul-led life, or maybe you come to the retreat, which is now in October, like whatever it is for you to find this connection yourself, for your blueprint, divine blueprint, to be activated and the distortions cleared out, and for you to have the eyes to see the distortions in certain communities infiltrated. It's everywhere. But when you can come back to your core and listen to the truth of your soul, which has been trying to communicate to you, and again, I'm going to share real examples in a moment here, then what you will start, your whole life will change. It will just change for the better. You will start to come back to your soul sovereignty. You will start to create sovereignty in your finances. Hello, Morgan. You will start to create sovereignty in your relationships. You will start to create sovereignty in your health, in all areas of your life. I've seen so many clients that had to go through journeys of giving away their power to the health system, and then nothing worked. And then they realized, oh, actually, there's a lesson here. What's the lesson? Where am I actually blocking health? Part of the reason I was out in bed for like 38 hours was because I was abandoning myself during Christmas, because it was go, go, go. And I'm a projector, and it was like fun and exciting, and work was really busy before. And then I was like, oh, I need a rest. And then I just went because I'm like, oh, people are going to be upset if I'm not like hanging out or at dinner or doing this or that. And then boom, it was like, oh, right. Rest. And then I realized when I was chronically ill before, it was the same thing. And so also I needed the key codes for the masterclass, which I would have missed if I wasn't just like listening. Like, are we listening? So that's my next piece. Our soul is always trying to communicate to us. Or it's why should we listen? It's the most prosperous path. It's most fulfilling, empowering, purpose-driven, abundant, and integrous path. And is that truth of your soul that nobody can take away. It's where we stop outsourcing our power and we actually come back to our sovereignty and we walk in alignment and we realize that this false hierarchy is actually an inverted template and a distortion. And then it's power to power. Mentorship, it's power to power. Nobody has the answers more than your soul. So my intention is to help guide you through that, through my lived experience recently, in the past, and moving forward. Okay, so, are we listening yet? And why are all these reflections and these mirrors and these challenges, which are the portals, our initiations to our next level, to our health, to our wealth, to our soul-aligned relationships, to our sovereignty? Why are we not listening? Because we give away when our souls are literally screaming at us. We give away our power to systems, to the money matrix, to people pleasing, to be liked, to be fit in. The key is just to unsubscribe. Now, it's simple and it's hard. A lot of you guys here, all of you guys here listening to this live or on the replay, you're very powerful. You're very light. You have a lot of light content. So your light will trigger people. It will expose other people's shadows. This is why certain people don't want to be around you, because you expose their shadows. And then what we do when we have a lot of light content, when we look people in the eye and we see the truth of their soul and they're like, oh shit, I'm not ready to reveal that thing. I have shame about that. Don't see. Oh my God. I realized I couldn't look people in the eye. I'm like, oh, I see things that I shouldn't know. And I'm not like intentionally looking into their field. It's been this way since I've been very young. And I just would see the truth of their soul. The eyes are the gateway to the soul. And so we start to fawn, people please, not look, oh God. And then who do I need to be in order to be safe and welcomed in this community? But the key to our sovereignty is to embody truth. Ultimate truth. The more light we let into our vessel, the more we connect with God, Source, Mother Earth, the more truth we're going to expose. And this is a massive threat to the system. But when we walk this path in co-creation with Source, with God, divine intelligence, Mother Earth, the ultimate truth, which I have been sitting and unraveling and for years, we don't need to outsource our power to anyone else. We don't need to outsource our finances to anybody else. God literally writes the paychecks. Like, we're employed by God. I think I might start a mastermind at some point called Employed by God. Don't steal that name. Our health starts to come back. And we start to realize that all of these things were portals to us actually just claiming back our truth and embodying that, which is the highest form of leadership. Okay, so I'll join that. Yes, Adam, I'll send you the info. It's gonna be fucking life-changing. I am like manifestation on steroids, but like only soul manifestation that's guided by your soul and by God. And okay, so we're going to talk about money in a second and our health. Actually, let's talk about it first. So money. So I've been unraveling a lot of like source money codes on deeper levels. And I just fucking embodied one the other day, which changed everything. But money goes not to, it doesn't just go to people who are going to do good things with it. It's actually indifferent. It's an energy, it's a frequency. Money's magnetized to the people who are most grounded, most sovereign. Okay. It's magnetized to power, authority. So it's our job to claim it back and then watch the reflection shift. I've tracked this in my own life. Every time I've started to fawn, abandon, oh my God, it's like, whoop, not only in my business, but just like whoop, in all areas, all funnels of money. Or like provision, like usually I get provision of clothes or whatever. I don't know. People just give me things, okay? Because I become an energetic match to it. But even just tracking in my business, and anytime I'm like claiming my sovereignty back, it's like, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. It's about sovereignty. I'm not employed by my clients, I'm employed by God. When I work in alignment with the truth of my soul and claim my sovereignty, which is the embodiment of source frequency, to allow others to give them essentially a permission slip to do the same, because they realize, oh shit, if I claim my sovereignty, shout out to Dominica. Oh my God, she walked away. For those in the Prosperity Portal group chat, she walked away from a job. She walked out of a job. I have a gift for you, babe, that you're gonna, when you read this, it's Daniela's book, and she talks about this, walking away from these jobs. It's called Made for More. I have a copy for you. I know you're not here. Are you here live? Are you here live? Are you? I know where you live. Anyways, when you made that choice and you chose your dignity and you commanded respect, soul points. It's like the quantum field's now rearranging. Watch what happens in the next few weeks. I'm so proud of you. You're like, nope, won't be treated this way. So when we start to claim this inner power, this is inner sovereignty, and actually embody it, not, I know I should do that, but I'm so scared because I'm going to lose this job. Good. God writes the paychecks when you're walking the path. You have to step out of the money matrix and walk the path of the soul. Then God writes the paychecks. So long as you subscribe to the matrix and now you're enslaved and people pleasing and fawning and prostituting your energy or your body. And I'm not just talking about like that whole, like I'm literally like serving at restaurants. I did it for years, had to dress certain ways, got ridden up because I wore my glasses, all this stuff. And I did that because I thought I had to do that in order to literally eat. When I started to understand the path of the soul equals I am provided for no matter what, abundantly, for all that I need, the game changed. This is how I have so many miracles in my life. And it's not easy. My mind tells me the craziest things. Like I'm renewing with a mentor, well, in January, but whatever, the price goes up. So I'm going to do it this month. Like I don't have the liquid cash to make that 5-figure investment right now in my business. Like I could pull investments, but like I'm also not available for that. So it's like, okay, but God, is this an alignment source? Tuning into the truth of my soul, not somebody else telling me this is an alignment, but the truth of my soul, that inner knowing. Yes, it's an alignment. Okay, cool. It's done then. It's done. As soon as I make that choice, the resource, like, does this make sense? Anyways, okay. I hope it makes sense. So the more I follow my soul and impact others to follow theirs, guiding them back to it, to fulfillment, to purpose, to wealth, to health, and to the right relationship as a byproduct, the more money I make, the more provision I have, the healthier I become. I noticed, I tracked this because in my life, a lot of reflections appear in like my health, in my physical body. And so this is because I really value that. And of course I value the other things, but I don't go into fear about the other things because, you know, if I lose soul friends that weren't actually soul friends because I speak truth, well, I've gone through that. I've gone through that multiple times. So I know more are going to get magnetized. Same thing with money. I know I'm divinely provided for no matter what. Also, I know how to generate that frequency. I know how to activate my life force and generate impact in the world to create that. Okay. So, but health is a different thing. So I've had all the health things, my spine being out of place, me like flying to New York for my old business coach's book launch, and like my tailbone was like hooked under. I was lying in bed and I'm like, cool, I'm in New York and I can't get out of bed. And this is so fun. And rashes and acne and oh my God. And like literally tried everything. And then I realized, oh, my body's trying to communicate something to me here. What is it trying to communicate? So I know when I'm not, whenever I'm like kind of living in shame, meaning, oh my God, the more people I impact, the more people, yeah, that resonate with me, but also the more people that I trigger and don't resonate with me because I'm illuminating their shadows. If I go into my shame of like, oh, I need validation from them, all of a sudden I get all these body reflections. And I'm like, fuck, Jill, find your power, validate from source, from literally nobody else, and then walk the path because you know what you know, what you know. And there's things that you're still unraveling, like all this stuff about the distortion in Egypt, but there's also a lot of light there. I did a whole podcast on this. That took me a year and a half to unravel the truth of that, of the Bible, and how there's so much resonance with the truth of Jesus, but also where's the feminine in the Bible, the Sophia consciousness, the intuition, which if you look at humanity is a direct reflection of that, because they don't want us to have intuition ourself, because if we have intuition ourself, the hierarchy crumbles. And that's part of my soul path. I even saw this in past life regression, is to help people literally liberate the chains of everything that's holding them back from their soul path. And the more we ignore it, the louder it gets. So I'm going to share some examples. Hello, Laura. The replay will be sent. So in health, when the body says no, Dr. Gabor Mate, he's one of my first mentors. So synchronistic. I was visiting my brother and sister-in-law, and they had a nanny come one night when they were out late to help with the kids, and she was like so into Dr. Gabor Mate. I'm like, of course, because like my brother and sister-in-law think this stuff is bonkers, and that's cool too. But I was like, oh my God. She's like, do you know who he is? Because I was doing the first part of this masterclass. And by the way, we're making a portal in Thrivecart, and we also have a Facebook group that I just created. So all the masterclasses, because there's going to be another one called the 50K a month. It's going to be in January. It's going to be free. They'll all be in this series. They're in the Facebook group, and they'll be in the portal. I'm meeting with my team later tonight. So anyways, when the body says no, when our body finally is like, you have abandoned me so many times. You've abandoned my soul to people please, to fawn for who do you need to be in order for me to be liked, for me to be wanted. And all of this work is literally claiming our sovereignty back. And to be fair, it is scary. And I'll share a real life example that happened very recently. It is scary because there are people that won't like it. There's so many structures that are benefiting off of siphoning energy, off of suppressing the feminine energy. But when we suppress it, it has to come out. So then it comes out in a thwarted way. I mean, we're not going to get into the sexual abuse and all of that stuff going on in all religious, many religious communities, not all of them, religious, spiritual, like it's everywhere. Corporate, it's literally everywhere. Why? Because of the suppression of the feminine, of the intuition, because we've been taught to not trust our body. I remember about last April, my soul told me, go to Mount Washington and go skiing. And I thought it was just like, to get back skiing. Forgot I had trauma from 18 years prior when I got taken down in an ambulance on the ski hill. I'm like, I don't have trauma. Oh boy, I had trauma. Anyways, I alchemized it on that trip. But the deeper reason my soul called me to go there, which this is how the soul works, and I have multiple stories on this they'll share, is I was having so many body reflections and so much pain. And guys, I spent probably like $60,000 just on like gut health, just on like freaking detox stuff, just on, intuitives, what's going on. None of it fucking worked until I remembered I was literally studying Mary Magdalene, and she was talking about how our body is the guide. And I think we forget this. In spiritual communities, we forget this. In religious communities, we go to a pastor, a preach, instead of being like, whoa, the wisdom's right here. The wisdom is right here. What was I not listening to? Oh, and I also felt nauseous every single day. That was cool. While there was truths that I knew on a soul level, and I kept outsourcing my power until I was like, oh my God. And there was like a lot of sacred rage, which was coming up because I'm like, this is not okay. Like what I was witnessing energetically was happening was not okay. It was entrapment. And so I realized all of my body was trying to communicate something's off. Same thing when I was in a relationship a couple years ago. I had intense pain in my solar plexus. I felt like I was getting stabbed, my center of power, where it was like giving away my power. And then like under my breasts, like it was like my body was like, something is off. Talked about this on part 1, where our logic or our wounds will literally be pulled and our intuition's like, wait, what's actually going on here? And if we don't listen to our intuition, our body will start to reflect this. Our finances will reflect this. Our bank accounts are direct reflections of self-respect. I'll just say that. So it's so simple. So recently cracked a code on this. So the body begins to shut down, and then it will create these dis-ease, however that looks, viruses, issues, and all of these situations when it's like literally just trying to communicate, being like, get back on path. Start to trust yourself. Start to trust the wisdom of your soul. So any self-sabotage, by the way, for any of you struggling with that, is a distraction. It's a suppression of your soul's truth. And you being unwilling to feel the emotion that has communication in it. I did this last night, literally lying in bed. Didn't get up. Well, I got up once for some food. Well, maybe twice for some dessert too, by like the end of the night. And I was like, okay, I could feel something that I need to shift before this call. And a lot came up for me at Christmas. And I was like, wow, there's literally still stories I need to rewrite. And I started writing out all of these freaking stories, all these things, and feeling the emotion, and then looking from a higher perspective of what that was teaching me and what got cleared, and the wisdom that came through after I felt the emotion was literally bonkers. So if we're going to food or drugs or whatever the vice is, work, whatever it is, that's actually like distracting us, or busyness, there's something we're unwilling to feel. It's all just energy. But in that feeling, and this is what the work we're going to be doing together in the 6 months for those of you who want to come into soul-led life, in that feeling is the wisdom. Our souls know. It's just we're not trusting. And then the trauma, it's just energy, that stuck energy, emotion that's stuck, compounds. And then the issue begins to be not like, I don't want to feel this, but now it's a tumor or something of that sort. So there is power in the emotions. So during Xmas, Christmas, wrote it as that, I started to notice myself in fawn response. I started to notice myself getting very exhausted, doing all the things. How can I help? How can I be of service? How can I do everything? Well, this anger started to come up when I got real tired. And I was like, what the actual F? Why am I the one doing everything? And not everything. I was doing a lot. And siblings weren't doing a lot. And the other kids here weren't doing anything. They were all like drinking beer on the couch. And here I am like slaving away, making dinner, doing this, doing that. and I'm also doing it all wrong and getting criticized. Don't, you did this. And I'm like, oh my God. And unconsciously, I was trying to people please without knowing it, by the way. I was trying to people please to be liked and to beg for respect in some capacity, to prove myself worthy of respect. Oh my God. And then I stepped into commanding respect, and probably not in the most graceful place, because, you know, this had been decades of me not commanding respect and me fawning in this dynamic. Because our families and those who've known us, wasn't just family, for our whole lives have this image of us, of who we need to be in order to be liked and whatever. And I had to be willing to not fucking be liked. But I tell you, when I understood that and allowed the emotion to come up and it activated something in me, the whole dynamic shifted. People stopped taking me for granted. People started respecting me. People started actually being grateful for what I was doing, for my presence, for all of these things. And I was like, holy shit, I had to be willing to be not liked and to actually honor myself in order for that to shift. By the way, your sacred rage is literally sacred. And false light will tell you to suppress it, because it is your center of power, your third chakra, and it's how we activate self-love, leadership, the truth of our soul, sovereignty. It's how we hold boundaries, all the things that false light does not want you to do. Anyways, moving on from that. So, okay, I'm going to talk about soul-led life for a second, and then we're going to talk about all of these things with horseback riding and manifestations and all the wisdom, and how, whoa, all of my challenges, including that one, but bigger challenges, were literally the guidance of my soul for the soul growth, for my mission, for all of these things, and how they all connect, and why our desires are sacred and literally from the divine, and why most people don't actually get their desires. They don't become an energetic match to them because they're not willing to walk through these portals of initiations. And we have to be willing to walk through these portals of initiations. There is no other way in order to be an energetic match to our soul desires, our soul desires. I'm not talking about ego desires, because those are unfulfilling. And usually our soul desires are way bigger anyways, to be honest. So soul-led life is a 6-month journey to reclaim the timeline you were born to lead, to align to your highest timeline, your true soul desires, your potentials in all areas, literally your highest levels of prosperity, to step into your power, activate your purpose, and embody your potentials. So if you're interested, I'm going to drop the link actually in the chat. Oh, there's people talking in the chat. I didn't see that. If you sign up for January 4th, it's on early bird. It is also a tax write-off 100%. So if you have your own business, if you're self-employed, if you have a corporation, Adam had some Bible revelations recently. If you have a corporation and you want to claim this on taxes before the 31st, then you can write it all off. It's 100% write-off. I'm assuming y'all got good accountants. If not, I can refer you. But anyways, it's a legal write-off for education consulting. And there's a payment plan. If you join by the end of tonight, you get a surprise gift, which I'm not disclosed, but it's good. And you also get 3 months in the prosperity portal, which is tens of thousands of dollars of courses. There is so many tools in there. If you apply those tools, I mean, I'm seeing it happen in real time, your life will shift. It's my membership. We also meet live twice a month. We are meeting on January 3rd. And I think that call is going to be a long activation versus a teaching. So I'm going to talk about some of my soul path and where I was following my soul and I didn't know it. So I just had a memory come up, and part of me is like, do I talk about this? Part of me is like, do I not? It was a health one when I was like 3, and I knew something. We're not going to talk about that today. Okay. So we're going to talk about this one. So I was working at a company that, like, literally this job got handed to me at a Christmas party. I had just graduated high school. I was quite young for my age. I'm like, I'm taking a gap year. Everyone was telling me, do this, do this, do this. And like, I was just I'd gone through a massive injury figure skating, woke up one morning, couldn't walk. And I was just like, no, like, just, I'm taking a year off. Like, I'm younger than everybody anyways. I'm going to be with people my age going next year. And I did quite well academically, except in English because I'm dyslexic, but that's beside the point. My soul chose that so I could see energy in the way that I do and perceive it. But something in my soul was like, do not go, just like, no. And so I got this job handed to me and I took it. And again, I got this job and I was not challenged. I was very grateful for it. We can be grateful and still follow our soul desires. That's actually the key. Grateful and okay, my soul is calling me here because there's growth in that. So I start to get crippling back pain at this job. I lasted a couple of weeks until I gave my notice. So I stayed there a month. I gave a 2-week notice. I realized our job is literally like where we spend most of our time. And I don't actually like believe in jobs anymore. I believe in like soul paths because the job's in the slavery system, but that's beside the point, another masterclass. Okay, so I got really depressed and I thought something's wrong with me. Like, what is wrong with me? Why am I 17 years old at this job and literally having to sit on this like medical ball because my back was so messed up? And I would just like go home and cry. And so I ended up leaving. Everybody told me not to. You got this handed to you. You're stupid. Went to the human resources. And they were like, are you sure about this? Maybe you should talk to like so-and-so. All my family was working there. Well, a lot of my family, not all of it. But I was like, nope, I'm doing this. They're like, are you sure you don't want to talk to like your parent? Nope, nope. I know. And so I made that choice. It was scary, obviously. Yeah. People go to school, Adam, I'm just going to put you in mute, for years to get a job like that. And I just got it handed to me. It was not in alignment. Okay. My soul knew. Then I was like, I want to study acting. That's what I want to do. I always wanted to do that. Got told to move out of the house. My parents' house. Oh no. Okay. My soul was like so committed and it was the scariest thing ever. So basically for 2 weeks, I was like in this crying every day because my soul was like screaming at me and came to a compromise, whatever. It was like, you go to university, you have to maintain straight A's. If you don't, then you're not like, bye, essentially. And you can study acting on the side. So I did both, 2 full-time programs. Okay. So when I was at business school, I noticed that I felt very depressed. It felt like a prison. I literally like this memory where I was like eating Shreddies for lunch out of a freaking like bag. And I was just like sitting in this like cold hall. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know. Like something was just like not aligning in my soul. But my mind was like, well, I have to do this to be able to make a living and whatever. I was also giving myself a backdoor. Well, being forced to give myself a backdoor, which never fucking works, by the way. Never give yourself a backdoor because you will always fall back in the back door and you'll never fully align to your soul path. If you do that, you have to be willing to have the courage to say the hard thing to the person that is the scariest to say it to, like the example earlier. You have to be willing to say no to easy money or whatever that's out of alignment. Guys, I've said no to like deals that are literally insane because they wanted me to use my gifts for something that was not in alignment. Like, I will not compromise my values. This is also why God writes my paychecks. And I want to teach you guys the energetics of all of that. So, yeah. And it was so crazy. I was like in this hall and like, there was this deep unworthiness that was like, I'm like, we're not going to go into all of that today, but there was a lot of deep-seated unworthiness. So anyways, another time I ended up leaving business school, dropping out, somehow manifesting, going to one of the best schools in New York for acting school, 2 incredible years. That's really where I learned about energy, how to read emotion, which is energy in motion, how to read the truth of somebody's soul, like looking into their eyes. We do these exercises. They were repetition exercises, and you would peel layers of all the freaking facades that we put on and get to the truth of somebody's soul. And that, my friend, is how you become a good actor. A lot of those people are famous. I obviously left acting because my soul guided me to, again. Then I got all these opportunities just drop in my lap. And I'm like, what? No. Grateful for the acting times though, because manifested some commercials that paid for a lot of things on this path that otherwise would not have. You've probably heard the stories. So then there was this point where I got offered a serving job, and I had already started my Reiki business. And my best friend was like, come get this job. It's like really awesome place. And I took it, and 5 minutes in, my whole body was like gut feeling, pain in my womb. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. And then I started hearing my soul source say, you're going to miss a timeline. You're going to miss a timeline. Guys, I got injured 4 times at that job. That didn't need to happen if I just had listened earlier. But I didn't have support. I didn't have groups. I didn't have a mentor at this time. I didn't have masterminds. I kind of had like teachers, but nobody, like nothing solid, which is why it's so important to have a community that you're actually walking the path with fully, and that can catch you and guide you and remember you of that this is the highest path. It is the highest timeline that you're always provided for, and you will see these miracles in your life. So anyways, finally, Source kicked me out, tore my ACL, got kicked out of that, got 4 new Reiki clients, didn't even go looking. I don't even know where they appeared. And I was like, oh, I was blocking like what I actually wanted to do because of this job that I thought was providing security, because I was making more money there than I was making in Reiki in that time. But I was compromising the truth of my soul, my values, my integrity, not that anything was wrong with serving at that place. I mean, but it was so out of alignment. It was so out of alignment. And the injuries were literally telling me like, oh, right ACL. I firstly injured my left arm. Okay, receiving intuitive information and also receiving provision. Okay. Injured my left knee. Intuitive information of walking the path. Are you willing to walk the path? Nope, denying all soul red alerts. Then my right ACL. Okay, now the information came through when I was lying in bed with that injury, then tore my right ACL. I was not walking the path until I was like, okay. And this is where we weave off when we don't have a solid structure. Every time I don't have like a solid mentor or a solid group of people that are like not only holding me accountable, but understand this path, it's like so easy to fall off. It's so easy to fall back into the matrix because we have this thing called neuro pathways, and we will literally start to think like other people that we're around. And so they're thinking in the limited capacity of the slave system of the matrices of, I don't care if it's the health matrix or the money matrix or the education matrix, whatever it is, we will start to adopt those beliefs. Unless we know how to protect against them as well. But even then, we become who we're around. We literally become who we're around. So another time, left eye, it was during the CVID situation. I was refusing to see things deeper. And so these were all reflections, but these were all big gifts. And I'm super stubborn. So sometimes my soul is like, hey, stop, listen. And sometimes it's like a love tap now, because I've gotten a lot better at following my soul and trusting my intuition and my own discernment above anybody else's. And that's what I want for you guys. So even like going to Sedona or Cyprus for trainings, like it was not logical. And my logic was like, nope, not possible. And my soul was like, oh my God, I need to do that, but I don't have the resources. I don't know how to London's closed. People are going to be angry. I can't just like leave. And something deep inside me knew. And so I followed it. And there was no way that if I didn't follow my soul, I wouldn't have the life I have now. I wouldn't have created what I am creating. And if I don't follow my soul moving forward, then I won't fulfill my soul desires. So anytime, by the way, you feel caged or weak in like relationships, there was a relationship I was in, I felt so weak. That was a sign out of alignment. Then I had all this body stuff, again, sign out of alignment. My cycle got super messed, out of alignment, wasn't listening, had to go through the 8 months of learning that all my intuitive guidance was on point and I was getting gaslit. But if I just listened, then they would have shifted timelines. Because every time we make a choice in alignment with our soul, we activate that timeline. We activate the next piece in that timeline. Anytime we abandon our soul, it's like, okay, now you're in alignment with another timeline. And this portal closes. And there's other opportunities to align. But time is the only resource that is unreplenishable. We're losing time. And we're going to the reflections and then we got to figure this out. And it's like, we're caged and it's like, why not just follow your soul? But it's real hard when you don't have a community and a guide that understands this path. Okay. So on this path, I have other examples too. Like when I broke my left middle toe and there was wisdom my soul was trying to give to me and I wasn't listening. And then anyways, boom, set me on a new timeline. I got the code after that. The relationship I needed to end and I needed to go study shamanism. Anyways, okay. So, which literally is just bridging the gap between the integration. So our North Star has to be brighter. And we're going to do an activation shortly here, but our North Star has to be brighter. What the fuck does this mean, Jill? Stop speaking the spiritual lingo. What I mean by this is our vision, the desire of our soul has to be brighter and more intense than our fears, than the constructs, than the shame. It needs to pull us forth. There is not a coincidence of your soul desires. Like I had a desire to get a Bichon Frise since my first dog died when I was 13 years old. I'd had vision after vision. There's many stories. I'm going to our family friend's farm in a couple of days. She had the first Bichon I ever saw. I fell in love. I was like, oh my God, I want one. And then there was our cleaning lady brought her Bichon when Sandy, who was like my best friend, was my dog growing up, was younger, when he died, which was like a really traumatic death it was a lot. And it was not the time. And then COVID hit and I couldn't double on those shows and I couldn't, the whole acting industry was closed. The whole serving industry was closed. And I started to study quantum physics and energy healing and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's time to get a dog. Guys, I had no business getting a dog. I couldn't support it. I had no job. Everything got closed. I was living on my grandpa's couch half the time. Actually, his floor, let's be honest, in Comox. And my guardian would feed me. And I was like, I think I should get a dog. Well, I did get a dog. And then the Reiki clients came and then the resources came, because when we nurture life, our universal law is we are provided for. Opal has taught me so much. Like I would be teaching for like years to share all the codes that he's taught me. There was a reason. And I so strongly believe his soul saved my life in Egypt. There was a reason that I desired to get Opal. He's been my biggest reflector. Holy Toledo. And also taught me like truly about what matters in unconditional love. Even in my business, if you're like, why does this relate to anything in my life? Oh, some of the wealth codes that I've gotten or some of the business codes actually came from Opal. And sometimes it took me over a year to understand the code of what he was trying to teach me. Presence, Jill, presence. Oh my God. Oh, all these miracles happened when it was like me and him, the we space, the vision, in surrendering to sacred union with source. I talk about we in terms of relationship, but also this is not just romantic relationships. This is the we space of business relationships, friendships, all types of relationships. Win-win. It's the same thing with working with source energy. We win-win, not what do I want? And well, you're a slave. Like, no. And now we're gonna talk about horseback riding. So I've been obsessed with horses probably since I can remember. I ended up in the hospital because of horse allergies multiple times, like hives all over my body, like not being able to breathe. And so horses bring out the truth. They are not like dogs and unconditional love and reflect in a more kind way. They bring out the truth of whatever's going on. It's like no mercy. And so I have always been drawn to them. I've always been obsessed with them. I started riding when I was a teenager. Then my mom started riding. Long story. I was at boarding school, so I didn't ride and whatever. And I've started to notice a lot of the miracles would happen when I was riding, because in university, when I booked my first acting like my first movie, didn't even have an agent. It was a miracle. It happened. I was visualizing at the barn. I was like, what if I was manifesting like without even understanding the signs of manifestation? I just was already doing it naturally. And I ended up booking this role, which was like literally a miracle. Like people from all over Canada, the US, LA, like I don't even know. It literally manifested it. And the issue was I've always been very allergic. So I would have hives and all the things. And there was not a coincidence that my soul was guiding me there. It was like a soul pull. Like I had to beg my parents to let me ride because it'd be a disaster for days. Like just all the things and take so much allergy medicine. Well, my friends. Then I would get invited on these trips with my mom, and then they would always fall through. And then someone else would end up going on them. And I'm like, what in me feels unworthy? I had to look at what in me felt unworthy of the horseback riding trips with her, or trips in general. It'd be like, oh, let's do this. And then she'd end up doing it with somebody else. And I'm like, wait, I thought, okay. And I'm like, Jill, there's something to look at here. This is a gift. The places we don't want to look are always where the gold is. So I started to track imprints where I felt not wanted, unworthy, all of these things. I started to alchemize them. And then she sent one, and I was like, I'm going to test how much I have done. And am I clear? Because if this is actually alchemized, then this trip is going to pan out. Let's just use this as an experiment. Well, she sends one, and it has literally my favorite actress that, by the way, used to ride at that. They filmed that TV show at that barn too, that I booked my first movie at. It's so synchronistic. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Amber Marshall. I don't fangirl a lot, but I freaking love her because I know I have friends who know her as a human. She's such a solid human and just like so authentic. Authenticity is the highest embodied frequency, which is the truth of our soul sovereignty. And anyways, long story short, manifested the trip. And then it got taken away from me because she couldn't get the insurance because of some health stuff. And I was like, first I was bummed. And then I'm like, wait, we live in an infinite universe. There has to be a timeline that this actually exists. Where do I still feel unworthy? What is making, where am I energetically blocking this? And there was a deep soul desire to go. And so that pulled me to actually do the work, the real work that we're going to do in Solid Life, driven by the vision. It pulled me to do that and shifted that. Well, they made an exception. So now we're going. I'm so excited on January 4th. Then I start riding again. Well, if we back up, I manifested the riding stuff before, but anyways, I start riding again. And my allergies are like worse than they had ever been. And I'm like, ugh. My lungs are like, feel like they're collapsing. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't show her this. And I like hives all over my hands. And I'm like using boxes and boxes and boxes of tissues. And I'm like, I gotta heal these. It's time to go in because we're going on the trip and now the money's down and I'm not like releasing that. Like there's a reason for all this. Well, anyways, I did a lot of work on healing my allergies. It was about self-expression, aka the truth of the soul, weaving it all back, and speaking truth. And also I did some like enzyme detoxes with lungs. Liver and lungs. And again, the center of power is our liver, third chakra, embodying our truth, saying yes to what's in alignment, no to what isn't, using the power of our voice to actually speak truth into existence, which is the biggest threat on the planet right now. Just saying. And I went back. I've got like a month and a half ago, and they were like 50% healed. Did more work on them. Well, they're like 95% healed. I have a little bit of like a stuffy nose when I go. Aw, bye, Karina. I have a little bit of a stuffy nose, but I'm like, oh my God, I can breathe my lungs. Like, so this is where our soul desires will guide us through these initiations of the things we don't want to look at that are holding us back in all aspects of life. Because they're not just the key to that manifestation. And that manifestation is like so meaningful because I've always wanted to take a trip with my mom like that. But beyond that, and the healing that took place in the lineage and like everything, and me with like feminine energy, all of it, that was the North Star. It's not even about that. It's literally about who we become on the journey. It's not about healing my allergies. It's about me actually expressing the truth of who I am and my soul and all the areas of shame that I've suppressed it because it wasn't safe or it was too much. It was too weird or too out there or too triggering. Our souls are so wise. They are so wise. So whatever your soul desire is right now, or your soul desires, which we're going to go into an activation in a moment, a mini activation, whatever your soul desires are, that is the gateway to you accessing your potentials in all areas of life. Because when we start to embody the truth of our soul, what is meant for us cannot miss us. And when we don't embody the truth of our soul through our human body, not through, oh, I had this cool experience. Cool. Is that integrated into your life? This is the real work, guys. Then what is meant for us cannot miss us. But if we're pretending to be somebody else, we're fawning, we're compromising our values, our integrity for something else, what is meant for our soul will miss us. We won't actualize the potentials and all the reflections will start to occur. And then we'll blame the reflection. The reflection is the portal. How big it gets depends on how much we're not listening. So I'm going to share one more thing about soul-led life here. So it's a 6-month journey to liberate you to soul sovereignty and align to your highest timeline. Using desire as the North Star. Sorry, I got distracted. Just letting her in. Using desire as the North Star, or desires from God, from source, from divinity. Desire derivative means of the Father. These are in alignment with source. Guys, get in the puzzle. Becoming like impact versus proving. So what does this mean? Instead of, because this is going to weave into the next level of what was Oracle Wisdom Academy. The next 6 months after this are going to be soul-led leadership, somatic facilitators. So basically how to guide people on this path and help facilitate the trauma that will come up. Trauma is where the limiting beliefs come, the stories come from, all the things. You have to be the embodiment of it first. So impacting versus trying to prove your worth. where people get stuck in facilitating or as like a mentor or creating a course or a guide or whatever you want to call it, an intuitive, is when they are trying to get their self-worth, proving energy, pick me energy. They're trying to get their self-worth from the people that they are facilitating. This is very dangerous. This is where energy siphoning comes in. This is where distorted templates of hierarchy come in. It's all distorted. And I will not participate in that. I want to teach people to facilitate, who want to learn to facilitate, who understand the soul path, who are walking the soul path, who are there to actually empower, power to power other people, not to save them, to empower them, help their power get activated and embodied. We can't do that if we're not walking the path, if we're not constantly doing this ourselves. So to come into the impact energy, following the energy is always the guide of our soul. The problem is the portal. These are modules which might change and shift as I create it, because I'm literally channeling it from source. Patching energy leaks. So claiming the sovereignty back from all the areas we've been giving our power away, finances, accolades, validation, comparison, all of that stuff. Patching energy leaks part 2, where we're giving power away to relationships, to actualize building self-trust, creating independence versus codependence in all areas of life, anchoring to intuitive guidance and faith in the divine, and experiencing miracles as byproduct, embracing the shadow, integrating these aspects into the field so they don't run our life unconsciously. But now we have sovereignty, the power of the great void, which is a portal to soul aligned creation, soul reclamation in all aspects, true soul vision and your unique soul purpose and your soul gifts, which are lying dormant under your traumas. That energy needs to move and be alchemized, which we're going to do together. Then co-creation and community prosperity versus competition. So this is not for people who want to stay in their victim mindset, who don't want to see challenges that are, as challenges are here for us. My greatest miracles, guys, have come on the other side of my biggest challenges. Not knowing where I was going to stay in Florida. Almost going blind, being told by multiple doctors and I was going to go blind. Like, saying no to certain things where I was demonized in friends groups, family, all the people that I thought had my back, and I saw things in a different perspective. Then I honored the truth of my soul. By the way, all of those people I have great relationships with now, but I had to be willing to walk the path. So this is for those who are ready to walk the path of initiations and ready to step into their full purpose and their full power, and to literally be provided for by source, like employed by God. So God speaks through our desires. And healing is always the byproduct of following our soul. We need to decode this. So it's a 6-month program. We're going to meet bi-weekly for transmissions, activations, healings, portal, like the whole thing. I'm going to be doing energy work on the grid so that your higher self and your soul will guide you and illuminate the things that are holding you back. They need to be illuminated. So long as they stay in the shadow, we stay trapped. This is why when you start to do money work, you're like, why is all my things are going backwards? It's like showing you where you're trapped. Go through it. The breakthrough is right after the breakdown. Same thing with health. Same thing with relationships. It's showing you where all the distortions are in your field. They need to be illuminated. The shadow needs to be illuminated and integrated. If it is not, and this is why this work is so hard to do by yourself, because it's so easy to just get pulled back into the societal programming, into giving your power away, into victim mentality and trauma bonding. I'm so done with trauma bonding. If you don't have the people who are holding you accountable, who are walking the path with you, who understand what it actually takes and the community. So it's a 6-month program, paid in full, it's $2,888, or it's $577 per month for 6 months for early bird. After early bird, so after January 28th, 4th, just kidding. It's 3,888 or 777 per month for 6 months. And if you join by the end of today, you get 3 months in the prosperity portal. The power is in the choice, okay? The power is in the choice. We might do one thing right before the activation. Okay, we're gonna, yes, I didn't do this on last call, so we're gonna do this on this call. Oopsies. And then we're gonna go into a mini activation today. Can you guys hear this?
Jill was nothing short of life-changing and transformative. From start to finish, such a positive experience. And I don't even want to say finish, because I want to keep working with Jill forever. I always want Jill in my life. And the things that she teaches and embodies. That's something awesome about working with Jill, by the way, is that she really embodies what she is teaching. You want a good role model for being kind to yourself, taking action that truly benefits yourself, that brings out your true self, that keeps you healthy and happy. That alone is worth working with Jill, attending her workshops, whatever you do, reading her blog, whatever she's up to, podcasting. It's so beneficial to be around a teacher like Jill, who can guide you through her own lived example, knowing what it's like to get up every day and do your meditations, do your activations, do your healing work, your shadow work, your journaling. She's done it. She does it. And it's so reinforcing to have a guide who is really there on the journey with you, and not just telling you to do something in like a preset course that they made 8 years ago, you know? And a little bit more background on my experience working with Jill. I came into this whole spirituality thing pretty cynical. I grew up in a fairly mainstream culture. I'm from the Midwest. I grew up on a farm, so very practically minded American culture, I guess, and didn't really buy into magic, synchronicities, quantum energy leaps, or just the fact that we live in an illusion and that our mind and consciousness is a source of creating reality. It didn't just sound bizarre to me, it just sounded ridiculous. But after learning the tools and the mindsets and the science behind all of this, I can say I buy into it. And as I always say, even if it's not real, it works. It works. I'm way happier now than I was before. I'm way more in control of myself than I was before. I feel more joy. I feel a stronger sense of identity. I feel radiant. I feel happy. I feel beautiful. And I just know that my self-talk is so enriching and nurturing for myself and for my vision and my dreams. It was helpful on just a day-to-day emotional level, being in a good mood more of the time. And it's also been helpful on an entrepreneurial, artistic level, helping me to really set my vision for my life and my art and my business, and not being afraid to dream it exactly how I want it, and to see it big and to see it come into life. And since working with Jill, I've had so many powerful transformations, so many. And I've heard multiple people say that they feel like they've just gone through 5 different identities. I feel exactly the same way. I feel so grateful to have come across Jill and the things that she teaches and the community that she's part of. And I'd recommend working with Jill to anybody who's called to it.
Okay, I'm gonna share one more. I don't know if we
Hi,
shared
my
with
name
other
is
ones, but
Jessica.
so that Sarah, she's literally killing it right now. She has almost 100,000 views on one of her songs. Like, oh my God. This is Jess. She's now traveling the world with her own healing business after getting past limiting beliefs, constructs, all the things, and truly embodying the
Hi,
soul
my
path.
name is Jessica, and I did private shamanic breathwork journeying with Jill. I don't even think I have the words to describe it. It has been so liberating and so empowering for me. I've had so many benefits because of this. I just feel so much more free. I feel so much more free in my self-expression. I feel empowered and powerful. And I really feel like she really reconnected me back with myself. I've also had some wild experiences since we worked together. I've had clients come into my life. I've had like surprises of abundance come into my life. And I just really feel like I'm realigning with where I'm supposed to be with just so much ease. And it's just a really exciting time ever since we started working together. So I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Jill.
Okay, there's a bunch more, but you can look on the landing page. Okay, we're going to do what is this? Weird. We're gonna do a quick activation just to tap in to your soul's guidance. Okay, so setting up for lying down. Banishing any energy that is not of the highest. And then a golden waterfall of light, source, God, masculine, feminine, God to the top of the head, all the way to the bottoms of your feet. And the crystalline chromosome of the earth, all the way, bottoms of your feet to the top of your head, this pillar of light, the light of truth. Light of Christ consciousness, Sophia consciousness, beautiful. Just tapping in to the core of your being, your heart, to your soul. Just attuning to what your soul is deeply desiring. What vision is your soul deeply desiring? And what challenge are you facing in your life? What challenge are you facing in your life? Tapping into the most important and significant piece of wisdom in this challenge. What's the first piece of wisdom this challenge is trying to give you? That's it. Now I want you to tune in to your heart again, to your soul. Just allowing all constructs, any limitations, anything that's keeping you held back, any negative implants to clear and dissolve out of the field right here, right now. Asking yourself, if soul aligned life, 6-month journey in alignment, asking your soul, and if it is, making the energetic choice to join. The power is in the choice. Source rearranges to support you in all aspects with the choice. And if it is, and you don't know the how, you need support in any way, financially, emotionally, energetically, asking divine consciousness, this source consciousness, Mother Earth, for divine support to show you the way, to support you, to provide for you as you do your heart. Co-creation, that's it. And if it is not in alignment, ask your soul what step is that will start the momentum of you activating your soul path. That's it. Starting to clear and dissolve and transmute any unworthiness that's ready to be shifted out of your field, any negative thought implants that tell you you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you're not capable, you're not smart. Clearing these, shifting these, dissolving these right out of the field, right here, right now. Beautiful. And with this wisdom, you can come back to your body, back to your heart. Feeling what shifted in your body and the energy around your body and your thoughts. That's it. And when you're ready, you can come fully back. Okay, my loves. I kept this under an hour and a half. Hi, Karina. It's so good to see your face. Oh my God, I can't believe I kept this under an hour and a half. Okay. I love you guys. If you're interested, I put it in the chat. You'll also get the replay in the email. The Facebook group, if you want to join, will be on the email. For all of these replays, we're going to have a part 3 of this Soul Speaks master series. It's going to be called 50K month. I should just call it Employed by God. I don't know, one of the two. Maybe it'll be 50K a month, Employed by God. I like that. It's going to be all the wisdom that I've tracked on my 50K months, what shifts I made in alignment with my soul, with God, with this path, and how those shifts impacted the impact. So stay tuned for that. It'll be in January. But if you're like, yes, I really like this feels fully in alignment. Hello, Ivory. If this feels fully in alignment, if you join by the end of the day, you get that surprise gift, which I'm not going to share. And then you'll get 3 months in the prosperity portal. Tune in, see what you received in the activation. If it's a no, what was the piece of wisdom that your soul is like this? Trust that. I want to empower you to follow your soul path. This is like literally the biggest part right now of my soul path, my soul mission is empowering people and being the living embodiment of following my soul path and the miracles that happen on this path. As we've said, it's not the easy path. The easy path is just staying in the system, but this is why there are so many reflections in health, in wealth, in relationship, and people are like, what the fuck? It's like, because you're saying yes to that. You have to have the courage to say no and walk the truth of your soul, which is hard. It's not easy. Enjoy your dinner, Adam. My nose is a bit stuffed and I couldn't access my penile gun. I might pick up Reactin pill. Ask for the veils to be cleared. Use the violet flame and the divine blue flame. Sinus stuff comes actually interesting. It comes from not being fully self-expressed, feeling like you need to cap that. You're very welcome. Been there. I wanted you to see. I've been here, but I wanted you to see me. Oh. Well, the activation really showed up when my soul vision is divine union with self. Yes. It is the yin and the yang within self, within God, source. This is, you're here and then, but I let you in. I'm so confused. Did I let you in? I have quantum brain. I don't know. I forget when I'm channeling, but at the beginning, I know you're here and then you weren't, and then you were. The beginning, we talked about what I have tracked in distortions, and I started reading the Bible and there's so much truth in it. And then also I'm like, why is all this weird stuff going on in churches and behind the scenes? And I'm like, because the feminine was taken out of the Bible, the intuition, the truth seer, all of that wisdom. And Sophia consciousness is the feminine of God. Christ consciousness is the masculine of God. We need both. That divine union is like the natural law for all the things. And then the spiritual community, it's like the complete other way. It's like all the feminine, but there is no masculine. You walk into a spiritual community with discernment, oh boy, you're going to get your head shot at, metaphorically. Been there multiple times. And so it is that inner union that creates that in business, in relationships, in health, in everything. And when we don't have that integrated, what happens is we start giving away we're like, let's take your discernment instead of the truth of your own. Let's take your wisdom instead of the truth of your own. We need to have both. That's part of this path that it gets so deep in my soul because I've had to go through so many initiations. I'm sure there's more, but of like far like lacking discernment, and then far like being only in my feminine, then being only in my masculine. It's like really that core inner union and union with source, with both of those energies working and weaving is what creates true sovereignty, true power. And that, like, that is the path of prosperity in all areas of life. I'm dialed in. Yes, I've heard from the beginning. I've been denying. Oh, you were the number I let in. I've been denying seen self truly until now and have such clarity. Amazing. I love this for you. Love this for you. Okay. I'm going to love you and leave you guys because the replay will be out. If you want to join the Facebook group, all the replays are in there. And yeah, we'll send the info in the replay as well. Okay. Bye, love.